to yoga of a Monday. Hello, Stephanie. Welcome. I'm feeling today will feel very nice. That is my hope. Let's go ahead and start in child's pose. So just letting yourself release down into the ground. Let the elbows drop down, let the forehead drop down. And just sort of quietly taking a moment to fully arrive into the sensation of the weight of your body. Releasing into the pressure of the ground. Releasing through the heart, through the back of the heart, between the shoulder blades. Releasing through the tops of the shoulders and the base of the neck. Releasing through the jaw and through the cheeks and the lips and the base of the tongue and the mouth. Letting the jaw sort of hang forward off the skull. Feel the muscles around the jaw joint opening and softening. Feel the temples open and soften. Letting the scalp muscles open up. The forehead releases. The eyelids release, and the eyes rest against the eyelids. Noticing the sensation of the inhalation through the nostrils, that passage of air. Noticing the sensation of the exhalation through the nostrils and sort of across the top lip. As you feel the exhalation sort of flowing out of the body, just letting yourself equally flow out, sort of in all directions as your joints soften and the floor receives your weight. Releasing along the sides of the neck, the tops of the shoulders, and releasing the space between the two armpits. Almost as though the shoulder joints could expand. Releasing the weight of the upper arm, releasing the point of the elbow, the joint of the elbow. The two bones of the lower arm through to the wrist. The wrist through the sort of fan of bones in the hands, the fingers, the thumbs, the center of the palm. Letting go of all of the muscles of the rib cage, letting the internal body within the ribs soften and melt open. Feeling the gut release. Releasing deep in over the tops of the hip bones, the iliac crest, and through the kidney area in the small of the back. Releasing all around the two outer edges of the hip joints. And then releasing kind of from the knee through to the inner edge of the hip socket. Releasing the whole floor of the pelvis and the lower belly. Feeling the legs space, just melting. The knee joints are soft and pliable. And calf muscles melting off the bones, the tops of the feet open against the ground. Feeling the weight of the soles of the feet and the weight of the heels. Releasing down through the top of the foot, the front of the ankle, into the ground. Each toe sort of resting there like a very small beanbag. 10 of them. And then just go ahead and crawl your fingertips over to the right. And feeling the left side rib cage open up, and feel the left lung as you inhale. Feel the left lung pull down toward the hip. And as you exhale, see if you can sort of arch the right side, the short side of the body, in to support the length of the left side. And just sending your breath right into the rib cage of the left side body. Intercostals opening up, and the outside edge of the armpit opening up, so you can soften that space between the top of the left shoulder and the neck, and then rotate the outer edge of the left arm down and forward to help the shoulder blades slide forward around the side of the body. And then both hands over to the left. And again, feeling the inhalation open down the whole left side waist, the intercostals, lats opening right up. And again, see if you can drop the outer edge of the right armpit forward and down to help the shoulder blade wrap forward around the side of the body. And then inhaling, taking the arms back center again, we'll come up to the hands and the knees. And then with the exhalations, just come all the way down to the belly and open up the fronts of the hips and opening up the fronts of the backs of the knees. Hands in by the rib cage for cobra or cobra prep. So go ahead and snake the top of the head forward. Really bring the shoulder blades down flat in against the back and starting to just elongate your spine there. Feel the whole length of the spine kind of from the intention through the crown of the head, even though obviously the spine doesn't actually extend all the way up to the top of the head, but just feeling that it does, feeling yourself reach out the crown of the head, reaching the tailbone slightly back in the other direction, and feeling the lower abdominal muscles sort of kicking in to help provide a little bit of support from underneath for this buoyancy of the spine, and just taking a couple of breaths in that long, low, extended position. Feel the back of the rib cage get broader, feel the space between the shoulder blades get broader, shoulder blades again docking right in against the back. Feel the whole kind of wriggly snake of the spine. And then we're going to lift up a little bit more through the back of the neck. Again, feeling the muscles below the spine coming in to support the spine. Lift up through the back of the neck, press into the hands, come up into cobra. Send the shoulders down the back, shoulder blades still docked in against the back, lift your chin. And just very soft little sort of watery breathing. Inhale up the heart and exhaling, pulling the belly long as you bring your chest back down. And again, don't put the head all the way down for now, but dock the shoulder blades in against the back, flatten them in. Tailbone reaching toward the knees, just very slightly, not pronounced. The legs might even be floating a little bit. Feet are pointing and the toes are spread wide. I'm having all these images of like snakes and salamanders and other like wriggly things. And inhaling, press into the hands. Again, come up with the back of the neck. Feel the spine sort of drop into itself. The front edge of the vertebrae are fanning open. Let your breath lengthen that idea. So you're really reaching the heart up, 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 up. Shoulder blades docking in. And again, pulling into the hands to lengthen the front spine on the way back down. And this time go ahead and put the forehead all the way down. You just feel the back of the neck sort of extra long. Play with the positioning or the reach, little micro movement of the tailbone, like reaching down through the hips. Try to feel the backs of the hips broaden. Inner thighs are going up toward the ceiling. And again, you want to sort of collect the tummy muscles in from underneath, so you have support from inside. Breathe, and one more time up into Cobra. So scoop up, lead up with the back of the neck. Feel the front spine open as the belly opens. Feel the back spine drop deeper into the body. Like really buoyant breathing up into the collarbones, shoulder blades lengthening down the back. Chin up, neck long, throat soft. Face open. And then exhaling, lengthening back down again. And this time we're going to reach the arms around behind the back, interlace the fingers, and just continuing to lengthen the spine now. So you're not really coming up further than you were when the hands are on the ground. You still got that long quest of a spine reaching into the crown of the head. Tailbone slightly down toward the heels, the legs are floating. Shalabhasana is locust. Breathing. And just breathing with full awareness of the shape that you are taking up, like the space you're taking up in your room. And then we're just going to tap the hands down over to the right and just lift that left shoulder in a little twist. And breathe up into your left lung, up into your left heart. And then the other side, hands over to the left, take the breath all the way up into the right heart. The right side of the heart center, up to the collarbone. And then back down. And we'll come up to the hands and the knees and exhale. Big toes together and the knees apart there for a child's pose, excuse me. And reach your armpits toward the ground and spread your palms and pull your floating ribs back and in a little bit so that your armpits feel even more open. Shoulder blades again down the back and around the sides of the body. And then one more time for the left lung / left ribs. Crawl your hands over to the right. Pull back into the left hip. And you're working with some degree of energetic charge here, so you're turning on into it, pushing through your lines. Breathe. And then over to the other side. To the left. And again, turn on into it like you're charging up a battery. Breathe. And then inhale, we'll come up to the hands and the knees again. Let's come up into downward dog. So hands are shoulder width apart, fingers are spreading, wrist creases parallel to the top edge of the mat. And toes to the ground and the hips sliding up and back. Ooh, and go ahead and drop your head like you've got rain rushing down a gutter. That's what it's like you're pouring down. Breathe. And then inhaling, we'll take the shoulders again forward over the wrists. Exhaling, take the knees down to the ground. And we'll just continue to open up the lungs and the chest a little bit here. So we'll come back down to the belly, to the tummy. And bring your left arm out to the left, 90-degree arm like a cactus. And then take the right hand to the ground. And we're just going to take the right toes over toward the left side of the body, around behind the back. So I'm lying on my left side, right toes around behind the back, right behind the left leg. And the left side chest is reaching open. And then breathing, lengthening the right knee away. And then replacing yourself back to the ground. Watch your belly spiral down, the hip, the leg. And then the other side, the right arm opens and the left toes go back around. And breathe. Play with the sensation of docking the outer edge of the armpit. Interact with the breath. And then come back center again. And up to the hands and the knees. And then revolving child's pose. So let's take the right arm underneath. Take the head all the way down. Reach into the right fingertips. Watch your body arrive into the twist. Interact with the breath. And go ahead and take the left arm up toward the ceiling or toward the opposite diagonal. And just watch as your left shoulder kind of moves into the twist as well. So the shoulder is moving back. And then taking the left hand down. Inhale up to the hands and the knees. Exhale into the other side. So that back of the left arm sliding out. Head rests down. Just watching your spine arrive into the twist. It doesn't have to happen all at once. Like observing the way your brain is doing this posture, observing the way your scalp is doing this posture, observing the way that your breath is interacting with this posture. The hips, the legs, the feet. Go ahead and extend the right arm open toward the ceiling, push back into the right shoulder, and breathe. Notice the way the rib cage receives the breath. How things just slightly shift. See if you can relax the texture of your brain. And then the right hand underneath. Inhaling, come on back up to the hands and the knees. Reposition your hands shoulder width apart, 10 fingers spreading wide. And go ahead and just start to circle the rib cage. And go slow and go slippery. So try to explore as you do this, like the entire range of motion available through the shoulders. And like you're polishing yourself. And it's that combination of like animal pushing, which is not gripping, it's not super tight, and real internal slipperiness or glide. Come back into what the rib cage is doing. And it doesn't have to go in one direction in particular. You can swap directions if you're going in the same direction. Interact with the breath, noticing then the circling of the pelvis over the heads of the femurs, the thigh bones. And again, this is that combination of like you're like a leopard doing this, or a big cat, some other big cat, and you're slippery and slidey. And you're breathing. And just noticing as different parts of your body sort of call your awareness and call your attention. And then it's a combination of like being aware of those particular special points that are calling your attention, and still like with some thread of awareness of what the rest of the whole body is doing. Like the rest of the whole body is one unit, plus this like extra special little space that is calling for you. And hands back over to the right again. One more time. Call that left hand away. Drop your head. See if you can release the top edge, the inner edge of the left shoulder, and drop the shoulder away from the ear, dropping the outer edge of the left armpit, the lat, toward the ground. Breathe. Reach into it. It might feel like almost a yawn, again like a big cat. The left lung feels enormous in the body. And then both hands over to the left. And spread your right fingers. And reach into it. And drop the outer edge of the right lat, the right outer armpit, I can't talk, sorry, down toward the ground. And breathe. And then inhaling, we'll come back center again. And let's just dive through to Cobra one more time. So go ahead and step your knees back a little bit, bend the elbows, lower down toward the ground, arrive all the way to the ground, and then lengthen your hips back just a little bit. And kind of corkscrew the shoulders down the back. Come up into the heart, open the throat, open the face, and breathe. And exhaling, take the hips up and back, step your feet in a little bit more toward your hands, feet come to hip width apart, downward dog. So spreading the 10 fingers again, spreading the 10 toes, lifting the hips way up, way back. And if you want to bend your knees or drop into your heels, then you're invited to do that. And if you can lengthen the back of the neck and release that spot at the base of the skull, then that will feel lovely. Again, see if you can come into that idea of wrapping both armpits, the outer edge of each armpit, forward and docking the shoulder blade in against the back. So the shoulder blades are nice and wide and flat in. The back of the neck is long, the head is heavy, the scalp is releasing. Breathe. Maybe play again with softening the knees. Feel your hands connect down like the spread, the fan of the bones in your hands from the wrists to the fingers. And then swinging the knees forward toward the ground. Just come back into child's pose one more time. So big toes together, knees slightly apart. Bring the hands back by the feet and drop your head and drop your elbows. And just letting the whole armpit really soften down and open. Inhaling, we're going to roll up to seated on the heels. Go ahead and take the big toes together and the knees wide, if they're not already, which they should be. And then a little bit of movement, left fingertips to the ground, inhaling slowly, bringing that right arm up and over. Feeling the space that you move through, the whole journey of the arm. And softening the arm down and around. We'll come to a little twist, left fingertips to the right knee. And the right hand back. So still sitting on the heels, spiral up out of your left side waist. Breathe. And then exhaling, let that go, sweep back around, shoulders are soft, sides of the neck are long. This time we'll lift the hips, left fingertips are at the ground behind, and the hips come up. Reach into the right fingertips. Dock that right shoulder blade against the back, bring the outer edge of the armpit forward, find your breath, and then exhaling, glide it back down again. Knit your tummy together as the hips come back down and we sit onto the heels. Other side, right fingertips to the ground, left arm, slowly arcing up and over, like feeling through the whole way. The side of the neck lengthens, spine is long, spine is reaching. Exhaling, letting that arm slip down as you do, like kind of draw back through your tummy, open the left side waist. Slowly through the space, right fingertips to the left knee, left fingertips to the ground behind, spiral up out of the hips. And breathe. Shoulders down, side of the neck long, glide your fingertips around. This time, third time, hips come up. Outer edge of the left armpit is rolling forward. Shoulders down the back. Pelvic floor lifting, lower tummy lifting, like spouting up out of the ground. Exhaling, gliding it back down again. Hips come toward the heels. Come forward onto the hands and the knees. And one more little session there of like polishing the hips, the shoulders, the rib cage, the lungs. So you're gliding through your range of motion. If you're dealing with any kind of pain, like lower backs tend to be quite sensitive. If you're dealing with any kind of pain, try to just like skirt around the edges of it, so don't go into it, but just like work at soothing and smoothing. Just like the periphery of the discomfort. So trying to expand the zone of the comfortable as you sort of collapse the zone of discomfort. And then back to the heels again. And we'll do that one more time. Maybe more than one more time. So left fingertips to the ground, slowly, slowly. That right arm is going to come open. So the right palm is turning up. The elbow is lifted. The shoulder is dropped. You should be getting that kind of like twangy sort of stretch through the arm. And slowly, slowly curving all the way back again. Let that right shoulder drop away from the spine, long line of the arm. Left fingertips to the right knee, right fingertips back. Feeling the breath sort of buoyantly up into the chest. Exhaling, let it go again, sweeping the left hand around behind. Left fingertips down, hips come up. Breathe. Knees squeezing in toward each other a little bit, so you're like fountaining up out of the knees. Exhaling, glide it back down. And you can't really go too slow. Right fingertips to the ground, left arm slowly up and over. So again, the palm is facing up, the elbow is facing up, the shoulder is dropping, the heart is softening, sides of the neck are long, and breath is happening. Exhale to glide slowly around, long open line from the left side of the spine through to the fingertips. And spiraling, so hips stay down. And we breathe. And exhaling, glide it back around again. So unfurl your spine. Right fingertips back, hips come up. Slow open exploration, outer edges of the armpits coming forward. And exhaling back down again. Let's go ahead and take the fingertips in front and come up to standing forward bend. So feet are on the ground, hips are reaching high. Fingertips can be on the ground, or if you can't quite reach, fingertips on the legs. And we'll just work here with, again, like swimming the spine. So the knees should be bending some of the time, like your whole body was like an aquarium. Like everything inside of your skin was just this watery sort of translucent, soft, flowing space. Like the gut, the ribs, the shoulders, the throat, the neck, the head, the back of the hips, the backs of the legs, like the internal, like you have an aquarium in your bones. And breathing. And then the inhalation is going to slip us right up to standing. And the spine arrives. Let's just take the shoulders down the back. And breathing a few moments over the long, like vertical lines of our bones. And still like you have a bit of an aquarium inside. So you're swimming. It's subtle, but you're swimming. sort of all the way up over the brain, just like over the crown of the head. Inhaling, sweeping both arms all the way up. Fingertips reach, the heart reaches. With the exhalation, let's just slide the hands right down to the chest. Step your feet a little bit wider and soften the knees. And then just collecting your tummy in toward your spine, inhale. With the exhalation, lift your chest. And so you can just slide your hands back, and then you're just going to collect the hands back in again and take them back down to the heart. And we'll do that a couple of times. So just a little standing back bend. Again, the knees are soft, pelvis is engaged. Hands to the heart. Inhale. Exhale, lift the chest and just swing the arms like your thumbs go long, go through your range of motion. And then fingertips back down again. Hands together. Inhale. Exhaling, lift the chest. Slide your hands, reach into the thumbs. Exhale, back down again. Arrive into the ground. And one more time, inhale. Exhaling, slide the heart up, reach into your thumbs. Exhaling, this time let's follow the hands all the way down. So hands are still together, fingertips are down. And then we're going to zoom the hands forward. Little fishes of the hands, if we're in an aquarium. Here we have our fishes of the hands. And reaching up through the heart, along through the thumbs. Arms dive over, scoop your belly in, soften your knees, go for the ground, swim your fingertips forward. And we come up one more time. Reach, 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 reach. Exhale. And then back down. It makes me want to yawn. I'll do it one more time. So scoop your fingertips forward. Fingers in toward the heart. Reaching up, exhaling. And diving all the way back down again. Hands are leading. It just feels so nice. I don't want to stop actually. Inhaling, fingertips scoop right up. And this is the last time, I promise. Reaching up into the hands, into the heart. And then we're just going to shake the hands down. And release the arms and shake your shoulders. Next, shake it off, shake it in, shake it out. All around. Take the right foot into the hands. And breathing here. And just noticing the way you're standing. Get tall internally. Try to tuck that right knee in by the left knee. Breathe. Inhale. Didn't mean to fall over there. Exhaling, release it into tree. Bring your right foot to the left inner thigh. And the right knee is opening out to the right. Hands together at the heart. Inhale. With the exhalation, just turn your fingertips right down. And so if you can just press the hands together, bring the shoulders down, reach out into the elbows. Breathe. Inhale, take the fingertips up, and then we're going to keep on slicing the fingertips in toward the chest. Bring your hands down if you can, fingertips pointing toward the chest, palms still together, and then sort of jab yourself. Poke yourself gently with your fingertips, and see if you can lift the wrists even more, and spiral the forearms. And breathe, elbows up. Shoulders down. And just one more time for mobility of the wrists. So the fingertips come up, all the way down, and then the hands up, wrists up, elbows down, elbows out really, and down, and shoulders down. And then one other time. So fingertips pointing in, rotate the wrists up, and then let it go. And shake your legs out. And the other side. So the left foot to the left hip, knees toward each other. Top of the ankle is stretching open, the foot is pointing gently. And we're breathing and lifting up out of the right hip. And then tree, left sole of the foot to the right inner thigh, knee opening to the side, hands together at the heart, and just feel like the whole carriage of your shoulder girdle, the shoulder blades in against the back, collarbones are long, shoulders are pressing down, elbows are pointy and alert. Inhale. Exhaling, spiral the fingertips down and bring the wrists up if that's possible. Hands are soft against each other. And keep breathing, and then fingertips come back up, point in toward the chest, and see if you can bring the wrists up. And breathe. Pelvic floor, lower tummy, and wrists come back down, arms fan around, slide your wrists up, press your palms together. Breathe. One more time, fingertips in, wrists up, elbows down, shoulders down. And shake it out. Shake your foot out and your other foot out. And shoulders. And then feet on the ground, inhaling, taking both arms all the way up. Go ahead and lift the heels, interlace the fingers, turn the palms up. And just go like tall and light. I'm going to step back a little bit. Breathe. And then release the fingers and just turn your fingertips, palms in and fingers straight up toward the ceiling. And again, see if you can drop the tops of the shoulders, plunk, and shoulder blades coming in against the back to kind of support, to lift the top of the arm. And heels are still high, and you just want to be streaming through your body. Again, like when we were on the belly, the tailbone is down toward the heels, the crown of the head is reaching, and your spine is such a snake inside of you. Inhale. Exhaling, go ahead and drop the heels. Soften the knees. Just like deflating all the way down into a squat. Fingertips to the ground. Pause for a second here. Feel the heels drop. The Achilles tendons lengthen. Breathe, and then we'll just walk forward into downward dog. So feet are sensitive to the ground, the hands are sensitive to the ground. Be aware of your positioning. Square off your hands and feet. Drop the head. And just sort of softly arriving into the senses of the body. Sort of starting from the ground, integrating the breathing. Softness of the major joints, the shoulders and the hips. Breathe, like follow any impulses of curiosity into what you're doing. Relax the brain, relax the scalp. Let's take the right leg up into three-legged dog. Roll the right hip open. And then the exhalation is just going to bring us into pigeon. So the right knee up to the ground, by side the right wrist. Hips squaring toward the top of the mat, fingertips to the ground. Bring the shoulder blades in against the back, open the heart. And just breathing in a couple of moments here. So even if your hips are nowhere near the ground, you're still like lifting up a little bit and dropping the hips. See if you can get the sense that you're dangling the pelvis down out of the torso, out of the structure, framework of the arms and shoulders. And breathe, and that front hip, the left hip is dropping open and forward. Inhale, shoulder blades come in against the back to support the opening of the chest. And then exhaling, we're just going to lengthen down over the right leg. And we'll spend a few breaths here, maybe stack your fists so you have something to rest your head on if you can't quite reach the ground with your forehead. And close your eyes and go soft. Relax your shoulders, throat, jaw, neck, face, eyes, hands, fingers, shoulder girdle. And just being aware of any energy that you need or want to offer your body so that you don't feel collapsed and heavy here. So you're still working with a sense of like buoyancy and openness. But see if you can be really soft in your approach to this openness. So you're not tensed, but you're open. And then we're just going to bring the right hip all the way down to the ground, swing the left leg around, taking the left ankle outside the right knee. If this is too much for you, you can extend that bottom leg out straight and just do the top leg. Fingertips to the ground, inhaling, lift the chest. And then exhaling, curl in. Feeling how articulate your shoulder joints can be. Upper back spreads wide, arch up into the upper back. Almost a yawn again, inhaling, fingertips. Maybe crawl back a little bit more, heart comes up. Throat opens. Exhale, curl it in again. And enjoy this like beaming open of the upper back. One more inhale. And exhale. Curl in. And then like an octopus coming up over a coral reef, we're just going to float this left arm over the left leg and drop the head toward the left foot. And I guess we're back in the aquarium of the body, so you're really feeling quite soft. You're watery internally. Breathing. If there's some kind of flow of the water of your internal aquarium, let go with it. Inhaling, rolling back up again. And the left leg swinging around. The two hands to the ground, right leg back up and through. Three-legged dog, adjust your stance if you need to. And then exhaling back to downward dog. Be slow, be sensitive, open the right side waist, arrive into the ground with the hands and the feet anew. Push through the hands, lift through the hips, drop your head, drop your jaw, feel your body breathe. So again, the sense that you're swimming internally. Left leg slowly reaching up, three-legged dog. Exhaling, pigeon. The left knee swings, slash glides, slash is placed all the way up to the ground by the left hip. And the hips float down, they float forward, step the hands back a little bit, come up to the fingertips, and again, using kind of the framework of the upper body to allow the pelvis to dangle down. And breathe, and explore, dropping that right hip forward. Heart up, face soft, throat open, like dynamic and fluid and swelling. And breathing. And then exhaling gently, gently down over the left leg. And we'll watch it happen. Watch yourself arrive. And again, soften as you get there. Let the shoulder girdle swim a little bit. Feel the spine as one dynamic unit. Like a big whale underwater. So cultivating again a little bit of soft extending gentleness. So we roll over onto that left hip. Swing the right leg around. And again, maybe straighten the bottom leg. If it feels like it's too much for you and your hips are not going to let you in at this moment. Take the fingertips to the ground behind. Inhaling, lift the chest. And exhaling, curling in, open the upper back. Be soft and open and generous. Inhaling, heart coming back up again. Exhaling, curl forward. Hips release, the knees gently reach away. One more time, inhaling up with the heart. Exhaling, curl in. And inhale. And again, like a big voluminous up and over the right knee. Octopus over the coral reef, down. And the right head, the head is dropping toward the right foot. And we soften. So just practicing this way of being in your body. Like a way of being in your life. So you're noticing how you do the thing and making the how you do the thing more important than the what you're aiming for. So I could be aiming for putting my head behind my ankle here, or I could be aiming for a lot of different things, but that wouldn't necessarily be sensitive to what my body is doing and what my experience is. So if you let yourself be guided by your experience in your body and in your life, the whole world becomes a lot more satisfying because you're not with this external, oh, I have to do this, I have to get this done. But it's more like how you're doing the thing, how you're making your approach. It's a much clearer life goal, this life experience, how you do something rather than the external factor of what that thing is. And then back around, gliding that right leg toward the back of the mat, 2 hands to the ground. Adjust your stance as you need to. Left leg reaches up, 3-legged dog. Exhaling slowly, the left foot down to the ground. Again, the quality of how you are doing. So you're practicing kind of being bright and alert at the same time you're practicing being soft and sensitive. The heels are dropping. Shoulder blades again docking in against the back and spreading wide, wrapping toward the outer edges of the armpits. Outer edges of the armpits are rounding forward, and you're lengthening from the outer edge of the armpit down through the outer edge of the hand into the pinky finger. At the same time, kind of from the elbow, you're spiraling the front edge of the elbow down toward the thumb and into the base of the index finger. So that we go around. And then turning off the hip flexors, that crease in the hip, and just floating the shoulders forward over the wrists. Let your hips fall into place between the shoulders and the ankles, and the hips feel light and open in front. And we breathe. And exhaling, drop the knees down to the ground. And then one more time, let's sit back onto the heels. Take the knees wide. And just one more time, the little sequence from before. So again, slowly. Left fingertips to the ground. And the right arm is reaching. And feel the space you're going through. Right side body yawning open. Exhaling gently, swoop around. Slow swoop. To a twist. Hips stay low. My right heel is grounding into my right hip. Look around the corner. Exhaling, slow glide back the other way. And feel all of the texture of the skin, of the space you're in. And the noticing how you do it. A simple one thing of breathing and sensing. I suppose that's 2 things, breathing and sensing. How about using the breath to become more sensitive? inhaling, left arm up and over slowly. And reach. And swooping around, slow, gentle swoop. Around the corner. And then letting it go. Back the other way, right fingertips back. Again, hips come up this time. And exhaling, glide it back down. We're going to extend the legs out in front. And take the flesh out from under the sitting bones. And sliding the fingertips right up the sides, inhale. Yawn. And then exhaling down over both legs. And finding the breathing. This is exploring your sensory field, your sensory feedback, and again a big emphasis on how you are doing it. So you're playing an instrument. The goal is to make the sound as sweet as possible rather than to make the most noise. Let me breathe. Notice and release everything. Like a release of the inhalation as your lungs open into the breath. The release of the exhalation as we re-equilibrate with our surroundings. Inhale, we'll roll back up again, come all the way down onto the back. And go ahead and draw the knees up into the chest. And wrap the arms in a way where you can feel that the arms can relax, like clasp the fingers. So you can relax from the wrist through to the shoulder and relax the shoulders in between the armpits. And turn off the hip crease. And just breathing and feeling the weight of your head and feeling the little basket of your arms. And one more twist the legs over to the right. And fall into the ground. Receive the ground. And then the legs over to the left. And breathing. Bringing the knees back center again. And go ahead and extend the arms up long overhead. And lengthen each leg and point the feet and spread the toes and interlace the fingers and turn the palms away and reach and yawn. And one more inhalation into the reach of it. And then as you exhale, gradually melt, like all the way back down into the very center of your earth. And just watch your body, sense your body. And then arranging for Shavasana, bringing the arms down, shoulders down the back away from the ears, arms a little open, legs open, and Just feeling the softness of the front of the shoulders, the shoulder crease, and the front of the hips, the hip crease. Feeling like those 4 points, the right hip, the left hip, the right shoulder, the left shoulder, like those are the crest of a wave each as you inhale. And then those 4 points can really melt and open and relax as you exhale. And the wave flows back out again. And again, the shoulder crease, the hip crease, buoyant into the inhalation, carried up of the wave. And like sinking and releasing open again as you exhale. Feeling the weight of the head dropping back through itself. Feeling the weight of the face releasing back through itself, resting like a mask. The kind of internal structure of the face, the mouth, the sinuses, the orbits of the eyes, the orbs of the eyes, excuse me. Within the inner ears, receiving the ground. Soles of the feet open, the palms of the hands open. So your body feels like it's almost beginning to glow. Like watery softness. So again, like a little miniature, like micro practice of experiencing the world. Like the quality of how your experience guides you and guides other people toward you. A lot of the time I think we have trauma that gets lodged in the body and sort of interferes with our ability to craft how we're experiencing the world. It's really important to, I guess, do the work of sorting those things out, or at least engaging with the process of sorting those things out, so that we get to make choices about how we experience the world. So even though we can't experience or we can't control how the world is making its mark on us, we take the time to delve into our residual feelings that are left over from the experience of how the world treats us. Then at least we can learn to come to a sense of peace with what those things are. For most things, not all things, maybe. So crafting the openness of the body and the openness of our experiences in the world by doing the internal work in yoga is part of that. It's always like a chance to hit refresh and see what